All right, thanks for joining the Weekly Wave and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had happy holidays. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the slides. So first slide is accountability reporting. Right now, the pre-code is open, the assessment pre-code. It closes on the 12th. And we've identified some issue with some students' IEP status not populating correctly on the pre-code, and we're working to correct this issue. Please, if you identify one or more of your students' IEP status not correct, can you please email the Office of Accountability at accountability@sde.ok.gov. Also, the enrollment graduation review, it closes on the 15th. You can access the toolkit at the address below, and these slides will be posted this afternoon once we've done this call. And we've seen minimal DBRs being submitted. So if you're seeing issues, we ask you to please submit those as soon as possible. And again, if you have issues with the application, please email accountability@sde.ok.gov. Validation errors. Continue to work your validation errors. Each error provides guidance on correcting the error in the help column, and your CIF XML field is data that can be provided to your vendor for assistance in resolving the issue. New WAVE accounts, if you have new employees and you need to set up a WAVE account for them, please remember it can take up to 24 hours for all your access to show up. And to do so, you must contact OMES at servicedesk@omes.ok.gov, and they are the ones that set up that access for you. If you're having issues or questions about any of your data information, you can contact us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov, and at sde.ok.gov, student information, documents, and guides. There's also good documentation there that you can reference if you're having questions about any type of coding or codes or information that you might need to use to correct issues on your validation. So next one, we're going to talk about the new transfer app. And the app is available currently. We do have a form on the website for families and districts. We are working on an automated form at the time. It hasn't been released yet. The superintendents have until the 21st of January to enter their capacity, and only the superintendent logins can do that. So if there's another type of user in the system, they're not going to be able to enter that capacity. Districts must report their capacity January 1st, that's ongoing, and then April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st. Transfer of students without SDNs, we're going to talk about that a little bit, and grade out capacity reporting. Missing transfers, previous system, and common issues, and Eric's going to provide us with a demo. But if you have questions regarding the transfer app, please contact the accreditation at sde.ok.gov.
I'm going to jump in here. Thank you, Nancy, for that information. You can also contact your RAO directly. They have a lot of this information too if you're having problems with your capacity reporting, which is really what we're looking at right now, getting that capacity in right now for January. We are working, like I said, we're working on a way for them to obtain an STN in a different way without having to enroll. But right now that isn't available. And this is supposed to be a transfer system anyway. So we're looking at that, and we're going to continue to work on that. Grade out capacity reporting. So it looks like it's grayed out, and we'll go, and I'll show this to you when I demo the transfer system here in a second. It looks like it's grayed out, but you can, superintendent can click on it. If you can't click on it, that's because you're not you don't have a superintendent role. But the superintendent can click on it and enter numbers for your capacity reporting. So just be aware that the superintendent and the superintendent role can do that. So we have had some reports of some missing previous transfers that were there earlier in the year in the old system or whatever. So our developers are looking into that right now. And then there's been several questions, a couple other common questions that we've gotten. One of them is, will districts be able to approve transfers, extensions basically for the next year without having the parent refill out a transfer request for fiscal year 23? The answer to that question is yes. Districts will be able to. It will. There is a place in the transfer system for districts to go and review all the current transfers that they have. That will open up in May, around May 1. It may open up a little earlier than that. We need to have some conversations inside the agency to determine what the best date that's going to be. But it's no later than May 1 that will open up, and you will see all of your students that have transferred into your district on an open transfer into your district this year. And you'll be able to just click approve or deny for fiscal year 23 to extend that transfer into the next year. Parents will not have to refill out a request form. You can retain the transfers from year to year. So that's one of our big questions we've gotten. The other big question is this: when will parents be able to start applying for transfers for fiscal year 23? That the system will clear out any unresolved or unapproved or undenied transfers at the end of June. And so on July 1, this parents will be able to apply for transfers for you guys to approve or deny, process through the system for next year. So they will be able to do that starting on July 1. Again, all the previous transfers from this year that you've already approved or denied and carried on over to the next year, all those have already been dealt with. So these would be brand new transfers for the following year. There's some other questions. There's some other common questions we get. Can we confirm that transfer extension process is in May is still true for virtual schools? I will confirm that, but I don't think that I am incorrect in saying that it's for virtual schools too. The system's just a system. It does all of it. I think that's true. You can go through and approve or deny for the next school year. I don't think there's any difference for a virtual school, but I will confirm that and get back with you, Chris. So very good question, Sherry. Does that include emergency and open transfers? So we are working on, I guess the best way to do it is, or say it is translating what was an emergency transfer earlier in the year, translating that and making it appear as it is just a normal open transfer, because essentially that's what it is at this point. Emergency transfers are no longer, they don't exist. As of January 1, emergency transfers are gone. Actually, as of by statute, July 1, emergency transfers were gone. However, we extended that until January, until this new law took effect. So emergency transfers and open transfers are essentially at this point in time the same thing. So we are working on translating all those emergency transfers over to open transfers, so they should be included on the list in May when it opens up for extension. The extension window opens up. So I hope that answers that question. Are there any other common issues you guys are seeing? Okay, yes, thank you, Carrie. The other thing I was trying to remember, when you're trying to look up a student, when you're entering the actual transfer information into the forms manually for them to transfer, and it says it used to say resident district. which may not be the district in which they are attending currently, and you would to look up the student, they wouldn't show up. So you actually have to look up the student, where the student is enrolled currently. So we've changed that just from resident district to sending district. That is the district where they are currently enrolled in. Okay. Not where they necessarily reside in. Sometimes, a lot of times that's the same district, but sometimes it's not. So make sure you're asking your parents to put in the district in which they are wanting to leave currently. Okay. Yes, you will. Right now, you have to have them. Oh, sorry, Cheryl. Yes, the question is to clarify. Until there is an ability for parents to create an open transfer in the system, we need to enter the hard copy open transfers we receive manually into the transfer system. Even if we are at capacity, have to deny the transfer. Is there a place to deny it when we manually enter the new transfer? Do we have to enter it all? You do have to enter all of it. You have to enter all of it. It has to go through the system, and then you have to deny it. But you do have to manually transfer. I will tell you this as a glimmer of hope. I fully expect in the next few days to have the form for parents open. We've been testing currently. So I think we're very, very close.
Eric, this is Chris Cerna from Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of questions in line with that. I just got off the phone with our RAOs actually. But so we called yesterday. We had a brand new student, same situation, lives in Broken Arrow, never enrolled in Oklahoma before, wants to come here. We were told to go ahead and enroll them. And then as soon as we get an STN, put the transfer in. So that's what we did. Student was enrolled, is sitting in class today, has an STN now because the system gave it one, but the transfer software will still not let us put that STN in because it says it can't find it in the Broken Arrow district.
Because it's in Tulsa's district, because Tulsa enrolled them. It's like trying to, like we had this problem with, thank you, Dr. Joe, for being here today. But we had this problem with Oakdale too. Oakdale enrolled them, and now you're going to have to try to transfer from Tulsa to Tulsa. That doesn't make sense. And it's had the same problem with Oakdale. Oakdale had to try to transfer from Oakdale to Oakdale. That doesn't work, and it doesn't make sense. Let's concentrate on capacity and the demo for now. Okay. I just want to let you know that there is a big issue with the STNs for students that don't have STNs right now. That's my biggest point. So let's just table that for now. We're working on a solution, but understand that this is an issue. Okay. All right. So when entering capacity data for one site and then going to another site to enter data, it is pulling all sites' data added together. So when pulling an elementary capacity, it will show secondary numbers also. I am aware of that, Kathy. And I was going to show you that too when in my demo. We are aware that that was not my understanding of the intent of that capacity reporting. We are working to solve that issue right now. Okay, so I'm going to move over to a demo and share my screen real quick. All right, so quickly, here's the front page of the student transfer system. You guys are very aware with this. We've gone through this before, okay? But this is just an overview. We can see the new transfers. This is where you input it. I think you guys fully understand how this works. Like I said, the sending district down here is where they are currently enrolled. So the receiving district is you. I got a question yesterday about, so what happens now once I've approved a transfer? What do I do? The answer to that question is there is no need for a sending district approval anymore. So once you've approved it, you can move forward with moving, surely you've probably already obtained some of the records to make sure attendance and discipline are all good and go. But if you haven't, that'll be time to start requesting records and all those other things. You can search your transfers. I'm trying to be very careful so that I don't expose any information since we're recording this. We have an open transfer queue, and it's very important to understand how this works. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second to make sure that my blurred out stuff works and I'm not exposing anything. So, and it does. So here we go. Share the screen. All right. So this is the open transfer queue. Shouldn't be able to see any names or anything here, but this is for people. And I'm going to switch districts. So again, I'm going to have to stop sharing. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So you have several students here listed on the transfer. You can see some of them. Now, some of them are clear where you can see them. And some of them are not. Okay. The ones that are grayed out means that there's another kindergartner that's in the list first before this particular one. So this one's first and then this one's second. These indicators over here mean that they fall into a category that you basically essentially must approve their transfer request, which means military, foster. They're a teacher's kid that works in your district. Those are the three ones that are required: foster, military, and military on orders is what essentially what it is. So if it's military on orders, I would highly suggest you obtain those orders. But you can see that all those ones over here on the right have those special indicators. So those are the ones you must, no matter if you have capacity or not. Capacity doesn't play into that. You have to accept. Okay, so you go through and you can click on the transfer number and see the transfer. You can change the status of the transfer, accept it, all those other things. I'm obviously not going to go into those individual students, and I'm going to stop sharing again. I'm about to hit this button, but I'm going to hit this button, and I'm going to click the at capacity, meaning I know that I'm at capacity. I can't accept anybody more that isn't a special case. Okay, so I have to work through in progress first, and then when I hit capacity for all my grades, I'm going to stop working the in process page, and I'm going to click the at capacity. So I have to know which ones I still have to go through and accept based on military, foster, and all those things. Obviously, you can still take into account discipline and attendance and all those things. But I think it's how the statute reads. You should probably read it as well to make sure. But that's what I'm about to click before I start. I'm going to stop sharing so that I make sure that nothing is shown. But I'm going to click that at capacity is what I actually clicked. Okay, and done that. Why I have to do that is because as I hit the button, it actually opens up those things I'm blurring out so you can't see it. You can see it for half a second. I don't want to expose those. Okay, so now I've hit at capacity and I've loaded that page. As you can see, everybody on this list has that little special indicator. That means these are the ones I have to work through and accept and approve, or look at their discipline and attendance to make sure, or to see that too. So these are the ones I have to go through. Once you've worked through all of your at capacities, okay, after you work through all of your in progress and all your at capacities, and you've dealt with all of these, a third option shows up: student wait list. It currently says unavailable, but once you've dealt with all the at capacities, the student wait list opens up. That means everybody else, you do not deny a transfer just because you're at capacity. They can sit there until you have a spot open, and then they still go first come first serve, just like anything else. They just sit here and wait until you have a spot available. Okay. As you can see, the first person on the list to apply by grade, so pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and then the ninth grader down here. Those are the ones, or the first one in each grade is the first one that pops up and is available for you to process. So I could click on this one or this blue one or any of the blue ones I can click on and approve or deny or work through. And then after I'm done processing it, it will open up the next student that is in that grade to process through that too. Okay. So that's how you work through it. That's how you deal with them. Like I said, if you are at capacity and you still have students, you just need to switch your queue status over to at capacity and work through those. And once you've done that, everybody else will be on the wait list. Okay. And once you have the capacity, then you go back through and keep continuing processing through those. Okay. All right, so moving on to the district reports. So you have the open transfer extension. You see that no approved transfers are found for the previous year. Right now, that's why it's closed up. So that's why we're not seeing those. Okay. Like I said, in May, you'll be able to go through all of those and click yes, approve, no, deny, and you'll be able to. Parents do not have to go back through there and do a transfer request. You got district capacity. These are just numbers. The total is the number you have, the total number of students in this site that you could have, and then the availability is how many you have available to do or to fill. The number of seats you have to fill in that particular grade in this site. Okay. We need that done by this January 21st. So remember that. And there's some other reports on here. You guys can feel free to kind of check out and see what you need. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to the questions here and see where we get. Okay. Dr. Pierce, I'll email you later about how to fix the issues you had from yesterday. Has anyone had a current transfer student apply with the new system? We have numerous students who have never enrolled in another district. They also need to go enroll at the other district. I'm going to pass on that question right now. We'll come back to that. We're not planning on having a wait list. Can we disable that? No. You cannot disable that. There's not a way to do that. We just don't. This is the way the system is built.